and Sports Chat Place YouTube channel throughout social media. We're going to get you out here well before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games, and that's what we do here in the drive-thru Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's our live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's go ahead and take a peek at who's on the show here with us here for today. All right, with us, we got Alex Smart with us, Big Al McMordie, and Millz Young. And here's how they'll line up for this evening. Smart, McMordie, Young, and then I will close this one out. All right, on the board tonight, a few from the NBA, singles from college football and NFL, and of course college basketball as well. So let's get this one underway. Let's go ahead and welcome in Alex Smart. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs. Got to Alex coming in with some Saturday college football. Let's bring him in right now, ready to roll with Alex. Alex, what's happening?
Hey, Tony, how you doing? We're going to do some college football. We're going to do that Kansas State battle. Kansas Jayhawks are 7-3, and they, of course, play in-state rival K-State, which is also 7-3 this Saturday, and another incarnation of the Sunflower Showdown. This has a high probability, from my perspective anyway, my projections, of being probably the most competitive Sunflower Showdown in the last 20-plus years. It's both sides, according to my power rankings, say these teams are evenly matched. Now, I know that there is a possibility we're going to see a third-string quarterback for Kansas this week, but, it really does, and from my perspective, Leopold has really molded this team into something special, and you can see that this team just fights to the very end. Now, that last battle against Texas Tech, now, they're going to be forgiven for that. For whatever reason, that program continually struggles against Texas Tech, and that was a straight up look ahead game for Kansas, and they looked ahead to this situation here this week, and they were a little off their game, and they lost a heartbreaker too in the last end of that fourth quarter, which was unfortunate. But hey, Leopold, from a historical standpoint, is 8-0 ATS in home games versus top tier offenses. Teams like Kansas State scoring 37 or more points per game in his career. And Leopold is also 11-1 ATS in home games versus good offensive teams, averaging 5.9 or more yards per play in all games he has coached. And to finish that off, Leopold is 8-0 ATS in home games after playing a home game. Like, here it is. It's all about Leopold. It's all about the chemistry of this team. And this is probably Kansas' best shot of pulling up an upset. I think they've lost, if I'm not mistaken, 14 straight. I think it's back to 2008 since they beat this Kansas State team. So they're going to be on the prowl today, and this crowd's going to be absolutely nuts. So look for Kansas to cover.
All right, we got Alex here, says take Kansas here to cover. I just want to take a look at the line because we are getting some news on this game right now as we speak, as they've concluded practice here. When they concluded practice on Wednesday, Bean was taking lots of reps, and his status for Saturday's game against Kansas State still remains unclear, but he's moving in the right direction. Looks like it's now a probable. Looks like we might see Bean in there.
Probable. Well, that even increases our chances now. And there was 8.5s on the board this afternoon. I think it was all over the place. Grab as many points as you can. Take Kansas. Like I said, this is their best chance. Doesn't mean it's going to happen and they're going to win. I'm just saying this is their best chance at pulling off the upset. And with this many points, hey, I don't think you can go wrong. But we will see. I've been mistaken before, but I feel we have an edge here.
Yeah, Kansas State has dropped road games here. They did get past Texas Tech, but they dropped road games here at Oklahoma State by 8, and then a Texas late field goal there.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? I think this team's really come a long way. I think they can play in just about any environment. This is a very big game. Maybe one of the biggest games. Even bigger than that Texas game. I really feel like everyone's really primed for this game. So let's see what happens and. Just grab as many points as you can.
Here you go, Alex. Here on Kansas plus 9.5 against Kansas State. Saturday's action here, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Fox Sports 1. All right, Alex, let's take a look over at Pick Document for tonight's action. Of course, on the board tonight, college basketball. We got NHL, a couple games from NBA and college football. Of course, that NFL game as well on the board tonight. We see that Alex having a great year in college football for this year. Single game on the board from the ACC. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
So what we've got going on tonight is we've got one NBA game, late night game, and we have one NHL game, and that's also going to be a late night game, West Coast total. Already cashed today's one college basketball selection. I know there was a lot of action on board today. Just didn't feel comfortable with anything. It was, it's just that time of year. Some days you feel comfortable with, pulling the trigger on multiple games, but this was one of those days where I just didn't feel like really anything stood out except that one early total today, and we cashed that, like I said. So, of course, I've got already in the back end for clients who are getting longer-term packages. We already have 5 college football selections up for Saturday, and we'll have more NFL coming shortly, probably by tomorrow morning, and lots of college and NBA action coming for the weekend as well.
That's right, guys. Get up with Alex Smart over at Pick.com. You see the great results here. 745 units of private action on the board right now from Alex. NBA plays as college football will be coming up, NHL, but perfect time to get those long-term passes. 3, 7, or $30 sports pass. Get all of Alex's premium plays for that time period just select. When you go to his handicap page, make that purchase. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. Save that 15% off. All right, Alex, as always, great having you show. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You as well. Alex Smart here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue here on the show. Up next, let's bring him in. Big Al McMordie. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll talk about his all access in just a bit later in the segment. Big Al, how's it going today?
Pretty good. No complaints. Had a nice day last night. Went 4-1. Basketball's off to a great start. Once again, I think a lot of people make the mistake. They ignore basketball at this time of year, but that's a big mistake.
More totals or sides for you this year?
I think out of right now I'm 35, 21-1, so that's 57 plays. And I have had 0 totals all sides.
Wow, all sides there from Big Al McMordie. All right, tonight go to the hardwood here as the Thunder on the road against the struggling Golden State Warriors team here. We see the Thunder favorite here, 3.5 now on the road, a total 226.5.
Yeah, I mean, for obvious reasons, right? I mean, Draymond Green's suspended, Steph Curry is out, so it's not really the Golden State Warriors. It's some of the Golden State Warriors, but I'm still going to take Steve Kerr's men. The absences of those players is baked into the cake. So, you're getting value, or you're getting equivalent value, I guess that's the way to say it. Golden State 99-61-4 ATS at home versus an opponent off a straight-up win. The Warriors are also 19-8-1 ATS their last 28 versus the Thunder, including 9-1 ATS when the Thunder were off a win, and 5-0 ATS when the Warriors were getting 2 or more points. I like Golden State in this situation as the home dog, and I'm going to grab the points.
All right, Big Al says take go ahead and Golden State here. Sharpest book in the world, 3.5. So do your line shopping and get the best numbers here in this one as we see the numbers here right now. Of course, obviously, people reacting to the news here. As you said, a lot of times in these situations, Big Al, we see some of the reserves step up. We did see their guard have a pretty good game there against Minnesota.
Yeah, I guess this would be the best way for people who want to try to understand, I guess people who watch our show, they probably know by now, but, like last night, you had the Milwaukee Bucks. They were 0-9-1 ATS going in. Giannis doesn't play, so they go from being a 4.5-point favorite to a 1.5-point dog. So I think a lot of people just made the assumption that, now Milwaukee can't win. They don't have their best player. They haven't covered the spread once all season. All they do is play their best game of the season, right? And they win by 20 points or whatever. Covered for the first time all year. So just because a team doesn't have its players doesn't mean they can't cover the spread. And especially when the spread's been adjusted. It's one thing, Golden State was laying 3.5 points, but now they're getting 3.5 points. So,
and sometimes you got to look at
it's fair value.
Sometimes you look at who they have on the court, like Paul Thompson and Wiggins.
Yeah, I mean they've got, but all that gets baked into the cake too. Who are your replacement players? So
that's right. Indeed,
I like Golden State here.
Golden State here, 3.5 to your line shopping. Get the best numbers here against the Thunder tonight. 10 Eastern time. The NBA games tonight are over on NBA TV. All right, Big Al, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge for tonight's action. Of course, we got college hoops, NHL, NBA, NFL, college football on the board. Lots going on. Big Al has been on absolute fire here. 1,458 units of profit here last 3 days. That's all documented over at Pick Dodge Premium. What do you have going on over at the site?
I've got 3 really good basketball plays again, all in college, if I can speak clearly. I'm passing on the football game. I have one hockey play. I haven't had that much hockey this year, just 5 plays. I'm 3-2 on the hockey season, but I've got one hockey play tonight. And then I've already posted 5 NFL plays for Sunday. So all in all, 9 plays up right now for subscription clients. If folks want to join for a week, a month, or a year, they can just go to the Pick Dogs premium section. They can also team me up with one of the other champion handicappers. As you just mentioned with Alex, he's been red hot as well. So they could do a Big Al and Alex, 2-step there, and or anyone. They can team all of us up with three handicapper specials, etc. And
right.
This is the best time of year to join. It's college basketball, pro basketball, college football, and pro football.
That's right. All these sports combined here in November, heading into the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Great time to get on board with Big Al. Get the longer-term pass will serve you well. He has a 30-day or even a 1-year all-sports pass. That will serve you well. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. That will save you 15% off. Big Al, also we catch your video series with that all access up there on YouTube on the Pick Dogs channel throughout the website as well. Let everybody know about your all access.
Sure. If you're a bigger player and you want to join, just text Big Al to 775-636-7676. And I stress that you must be a big player because it's not cheap. So, it's you get all access. You can contact me any minute of the day. You can ask me about any game you want. So that's how that works. It's for the bigger players, and you also get the games rated. So, for example, today we've got those 3 college basketball games, and you'll know which one is the strongest, which one's second strongest, which one is the third strongest, etc. And we'd love to have anyone's business. If they're interested, just text Big Al to 775-636-7676. We've had tremendous response so far, so I do appreciate all who have joined. First month, we were up $99,000 based on $1,000 a unit, and we'll look to keep it going throughout the holiday season.
Keep it going, guy. Get that all access with Big Al. Get signed up. All right, Big Al. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. And, of course, we can always catch you during the weekend shows as well.
Yeah. Mitch and the gang, Saturdays and Sundays. I was out of town last weekend, so I wasn't able to join, but I'll be back this weekend. And then the next weekend, I'll be going to the Michigan-Ohio State game, so I'll be, not available either. I'm kind of a little bit nervous about that. I don't know how my Wolverine's going to do. I just get every time I see them in person, they tend to not do well. So I'm a little bit nervous about the Ohio State game.
All right, we'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed. All right, Big Al. Have a great weekend. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks, Tony. I'll see you next week.
You as well. Big Al McMordie here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue here on the show. Let's go ahead and welcome in Millz Young. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll bring Millz in right now. Of course, you can catch his video series here with the prop videos as well as his UFC rundown. If folks like those. Love that setup from Millz in the studio. Millz, what's happening?
How's everybody doing today?
Things going great. All right, here we go. We got a good one here. It's not Sunday night. It's not Monday night. Can you believe this matchup is on Thursday night? Bengals and the Ravens going head-to-head. Had to remember the days here when I see these teams playing. Seems I like to showcase some of the lower-rated teams, but this year, this one here is pretty good. Bengals, Ravens here. We see the Ravens 4. There are 3.5. There are some 4s in the marketplace. Total 46.
Yeah, man. Tony, you hit it on head. We usually don't get a lot of good Thursday night games. These teams have been playing each other for a while now. I'll take you back to the days of, Ravens had Jamal Lewis and, the Bengals back when they even had Corey Dillon or even, Rudy Anderson, whatever his name was, But, these teams right here, 2 teams that know each other real well. Whenever you get a divisional game, it's always going to be a close game. They already played each other once this year. Ravens was able to get the win in that game. Looking back at the whole series, I think they played each other about 56 times. Out of those 56 times, the Ravens won 29-27, something like that. Well warranted in those, But this ain't the old Bengals from the old days back in the day. If you take it kind of position, let's just see how they match up. If we're talking about the quarterback, would you rather have Burrows or Lamar Jackson? Depends on what you want, right? More people will probably say Burrow, I guess. So let's say Burrow wins by a slight edge in that one. He gets the A+. Lamar Jackson is an A or B+, When it comes down to the running back, Can you name one for the Ravens? I can't. I could go with Joe Mixon, over there at the Cincinnati Bengals. So I give him one up when it comes to that. Receivers, let's not even go there. I mean, it's not even fair. They get definitely an A+ grade when it comes to the Bengals out receiving the wide receivers at the Ravens. The only thing that I think that the Ravens have a better than them going is the defense. That's the only thing I can look at and say, okay, they got a better defense when it comes to the overall grades. So as of today, I'm going to be taking the points with the Bengals. I think both of these teams are equally matched in there. I think the Ravens got one on them early on when Joe Burrow wasn't playing good early on. I think the Ravens was plus money in that game. Actually, I think I had them in there. So I think they were the underdog early on when they did get that win. But that was just off Joe Burrow not being Joe Burrow. I get it. T. Higgins ain't in the game, right? I think that limits, that gives Joe Burrow a little bit more, less targets to focus on. And when he zones in on 2 or 3, he can make those guys just as deadly. Tyler Boyd is one receiver that I think that he's going to be going to in this game. He's the receiver that's been there before everybody else. He got 1,000 yards before Jamar Chase was there, T. Higgins was there, or anybody was there. Wide receiver from Pittsburgh, so I'll look for him to actually show up in this game with T. Higgins being out. We already know what Jamar Chase is going to do out there. But I think this might be like an old school game where we see the running game going off a little bit more than often. So I think Joe Mixon might even get an actual touchdown in this game as well. As you can see, I think the Bengals get this game, Tony.
All right, we got Millz here on the Bengals +4 against the Ravens. Although I will say there might be a little secret weapon here for the Ravens. If you've been seeing this East Carolina running back, Keaton Mitchell. I know you're shaking your head. I know what I'm getting to. Keaton Mitchell really showed some speed last week. Had a huge game against Seattle. Had a catch out of the backfield. It was outran the Cleveland secondary last week. Your thoughts there?
All right, so his rushing props at 37 yards, I want to say, in the game. I looked up his yards before this, in his last couple of games. He doesn't really go over that too many times. I do like him to get an anytime touchdown, though. Yes, it seems like he's a little Swiss Army blade knife that they're pulling out the back pocket. The reason why is because the other running back, Gus Edwards, is just so average. Dobbins been hurt. So, this guy coming out, getting those runs, getting those touchdowns, yeah, I could actually see that happening in this game. So I actually like him anytime touchdown. I kept him off the prop shop, but he was right around there, though. Right around there.
Undrafted free agent out of East Carolina on a 3-year contract, just $2.56 million a year. That's near around the minimum. Could you imagine that? Isn't earning much, but my goodness, that was a burst of speed he showed against that Cleveland. I know the secondary, they were really upset at themselves. How are we allowing this undrafted free agent to outrun us in the end zone? That was they didn't like that too much.
Yeah, and for the Ravens, I mean, they need something like that to get them going. I actually thought the Ravens should have been the team that should have signed them back like Leonard Fournette or something, or even got, Ezekiel Elliott in the trade, to add to that backfield. I think the Ravens is a solid team, but, I still think they're really one-dimensional. The only receiver that I like over there on the come-up is Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews, I mean, that's just Mark Andrews, but, their running game is non-existent. And their wide receivers is non-existent. I'm talking about from the last 10, 15 years, man. It's the same Ravens. Ravens is just like the Green Bay Packers. I mean, back when they had quality quarterbacks, they was getting wide receivers that was in their third team, like TJ Houshmandzadeh and stuff like that. They never got big names. I think Anquan Bolden was the only guy that actually played and showed up over there. Everybody that they drafted, they never even extended that second contract to, because they were never putting up consistent 1,000-yard seasons from the days of Michael Clayton and everything like that. So I think the Ravens is a team that struggles with the same thing like the Green Bay Packers. They don't surround their quarterback with top-tier receivers. And when they do, what they do with Marquise Brown? Trade him.
Yep. They trade him. Also, too, couple of things in play if you're looking at trends and whatnot. Joe Burrow as a road underdog, man, he has been money. I looked that up yesterday. I'm going to give you some numbers here, and it's kind of polar opposite for Lamar Jackson when he's been the home favorite. It has not been profitable. Matter of fact, Joe Burrow, get him as a road dog, 12-6 to the spread as a road dog. Overall road game, 20-10 to the spread. Lamar Jackson, you got him in a situation where he's a home favorite, just 12-24 to the spread. Now, as you know, a lot of these Ravens games end in 3 or less because a lot of field goal kicking.
Man, look for Justin Tucker to go over 1.5 field goals. That's officially on the prop shop. Talking about field goal kicking. These are two teams that that's how they'll play. They'll just put points on the board. So sometimes Lamar Jackson 2 years ago go for him on fourth down all the time. In these type of games, they're gonna go for the field goals, especially Cincinnati would too. So they're not gonna be pushing for it as much. Because they already know it's gonna be a close game. So those 4 points is definitely going to come in handy in here. I think the Bengals win right out, but the points is just the safer way to go. And me, when I kind of like look at underdogs and stuff, of course, the money line sounds better. I'm all about winning though. I would hate, to lose by 2 and just know, I didn't grab the points because I want to make more money, and not risk it. So I'd rather just, lay a little bit more and take the points with it, but. Yeah, close game. I think it could go either way in here. And Thursday night on Prime, we finally got a good one to watch, man. Because it's been some bad games going on, man. I mean, I would leave the game just to go see like what my son was doing upstairs. Like that was more entertaining than the game, So stuff like that.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Or just watching, no doubt about that. Interesting note here. Weather looks good here. 55 degrees, very light wind, 3 miles per hour. So wind not a factor, no precipitation. So we've seen the total open at 43, move to 46. And a lot of talk here about, these prime time unders. Maybe the prime time unders are coming in because they haven't been really good matchups. There's been some, we know there's been a decay in the quarterback position in the NFL this year.
I like to think that too, Tony. Yeah, these primetime unders have been hitting, but I think it's because of what you said, too. This is like the first good game that we got all year on a Thursday night spot, and both these teams can throw up points. That's how I look at it. That's how I kind of look at the games in here. But I don't know, man. The over, the under, it is a tricky spot in here, but I think the safest bet would just be to take the points with the Bengals and, these type of quarterbacks, you already know, they can throw up 17 points real quick in a quarter, and there goes the over.
Yeah, that no doubt about that. The over can go in a second here. We know you like the Jaguars. We see the left-foot jersey here. Jags looking to bounce back from that loss to the 49ers. They're going to be hosting the Titans this week. Titans with Levis, a rookie quarterback. We see that line open 6.5 now. Jaguars laying 7, total about 40.
Yeah, I looked at that spot earlier. I think a touchdown is just too much delay. With my Jaguars in that spot, just because it's a divisional game, and when I mean that is Mike Vrabel, he knows how to play the Jacksonville Jaguars. And when it comes to Will Levis, a couple of good games, still looking a little bit questionable. But it seems like whenever rookie quarterbacks or a team needs to look good, if you play either of my teams up there, the Falcons or the Jaguars, all of a sudden you look good. And you look wonderful. And it all started with Houston Texans earlier on this year, right? Oh, Jaguars going to win. Nope. Introduce you guys to Stroud right then and there. Since then, beat the Jaguars, and it's been on fire. You know what I mean? But it's just one of those things to where we do it to everybody. The Falcons did it to Will Levis, right? Will Levis came out there, and people thought him and Hopkins was like the duo that they needed back, right? Let me tell you guys, in that game, Hopkins had 3 touchdowns. He only had 4 catches. So out of those 4 catches, 3 of them was touchdowns. That just kind of shows how bad my team is. And really, they're not really even connecting with that chemistry over there in the Tennessee Titans. So, but watch. Oh, and this is another thing. Derrick Henry versus the Jacksonville Jaguars should be illegal. Just Google it. Google the YouTube. He stiffs arms 6 to 5 players at a time. He goes for 200 yards or less, and he runs at like 26 miles per hour. Whenever Derrick Henry plays the Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't know what it is, if he has it out for us because we didn't draft him, but he takes it personal and he beats us up bad. So for all you guys out there that's into playing props or got him on fantasy, look for Derrick Henry to have a big game against the Jags.
As he goes, look for Derrick Henry indeed to have good. How do you see Lawrence on the bounce back?
I mean, I look at it like this. He just got smashed, sacked 5 times. He didn't know what to do. In those situations. He wasn't letting the ball off quick enough. So I look for him to bounce back. I definitely look for him to bounce back. But we need to see Calvin really show up again. They're not targeting him. That's the whole thing over there to where, they're zeroing out 0. That's his number, but he's not getting no targets. We just had one of our wide receivers, Zay Jones. get arrested for domestic abuse. So I don't think he's going to be like tiptoeing in that lineup too much. But
well, he was on the injury report a lot this year. He was on the injury report a lot.
Probably because of, I mean, I don't know, but hey, it's weird. So the same time that Calvin Ridley was on injury report or didn't travel with the Atlanta Falcons when he was on the Atlanta Falcons, 4 weeks later, he gets, takes a leave from the game and gets caught. So, I mean, I don't know,
Yeah, that's some of these lead reporters have the news. They don't want to report it because they'll lose their source. Mm-hmm. Remember, that's what's going on right now in the media. There's a media battle. In the past, the reporters would just report it. Now, if they're getting the scoops, they seem to not be reporting the dirty laundry.
I mean, that makes sense. And then the dirty laundry comes out later, and then they're like, oh, I kind of already knew it. And they're like, well, I couldn't just say it at the time, I mean, it makes sense because that's how it goes. I mean, Stephen A. Smith was one of the people that was writing for the Philadelphia Insiders and stuff back then, and he would have a lot of sources he would talk about back then, and, he couldn't give them up and give them out because wouldn't get the stories, wouldn't get the insights. Michael Wilbon, I mean, a good friend of Michael Jordan, so he had a lot of insights to stuff. Ahmad Rashad, the old guy that used to run NBA Inside stuff, he was cool friends with Michael Jordan from back in North Carolina days. So he always, no matter what, he would always have the best guests on his show and this and that. So, of course, it's just all about who you know and who you cool with nowadays. So, yeah, you definitely can't give up those names, man.
No, can't. Looks like Ohtani won the MVP. But anyway, also, too, I'm going to talk a little about your sport, UFC, because there used to be grumblings back then that if you said or wrote anything negative about UFC, you would not get a press release back.
Well, so same thing. That's to this day. So
hasn't changed.
Yeah, that's to this day. So like one of the biggest MMA reporters, Ariel Helwani, has a big beef with Dana White, and to this day he can't go to any UFC events or anything. He does his own show. And they don't want guests to go on, but he still gets them on. So, yeah, that definitely happens. People get blackballed, and that's the exact way. So they remember the face, they remember the name, they remember the outlet or the syndicate, and they're just like, hey, nobody from there, So, yeah, that's to this day. That's to this day.
Yeah, there was talk back in L.A. here with John Black. If you're a reporter, remember when all the Lakers' dirty laundry used to come from the New York Post? It never came from the L.A. beat writers, right? I think that happened in L.A. too.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep it like that. You got to look out for the home team.
Yeah, that's usually what they do. They just kind of, now is the dirty laundry, they look the other way. No doubt about that, And I had to mention here, Tony Brown was in absence today, and you couldn't kind of rub it in with that Kings performance against the Lakers last night. Your thoughts moving forward here? Sacramento with the issues shooting the basketball, but man, they have lit it up the last two games with Fox back in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we needed. The thing is this: it's not just Fox. Now Sabonis is playing as he should. Keegan Murray's second year in. He's having some explosive games as well. Kevin Huerter, he got off real cold to start off the year to where they were talking about taking him out the starting rotation. But Mike Brown was saying, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave him in just for his confidence and stuff. We know he's cold. He's back to shooting hot. Malik Monk coming off the bench, giving us points as well. Looking okay, I'll give it that because we got some questionable stuff going on over there. Davion Mitchell, one of our guards that we drafted from Baylor with the 10th pick a couple of years ago, is not getting minutes. He got replaced by an undrafted guard. So some questionable moves. I think that we're going to be in that trade sweepstakes for a big player or some type of player, man. Hear me out, man. Give me Pascal Siakam for Harrison Barnes, Davion Mitchell, and 2 first-round picks from the Kings. Bring them to me. If not that, Tony, I got another one for you. Give me Zach LaVine. We were supposed to sign him. He got overextended by the Chicago Bulls, and they got him about 3-4 years ago when he went to go to them. So give me anybody you want besides Keegan Murray, Fox, and Sabonis. And give me Zach LaVine. I think that's what we kind of need is one more piece like that can average 20 points a game, starting off. Because Fox is going to give us 26. Sabonis is going to give us about 20. But, you still just need that guaranteed guy who's out there trying to bust you in the game,
Yeah, but other notables here that could be moved trading deadline, DeRozan, as well as OG Anunoby, who is he can opt out next year. So those are two other players that look to be movers and shakers come All-Star weekend or at the training deadline.
I'll take it, man. And when you say DeRozan, it reminds me of when we got Rudy Gay with the Sacramento Kings. We finally came up in the trade. We traded some bums to the Toronto Raptors and got Rudy Gay. Teamed him up with who did we have? We had the point guard from Boston at the time, and then we had DeMarcus Cousins too. A kind of decent three to build around. But hear me out. We had Malone. We had Mike Malone as our coach from the Denver Nuggets. He was just having successful seasons with us. Got into some arguments with management. They got rid of him that year. Went to Denver. You seen what happened. So anytime the Kings do good, they fire their coach, or else that star player is gone. So right now we got the nucleus of actual a positive coach around with Mike Brown, who's building with the team players, and helping the culture and helping the team players. I mean, it hurt my heart to get rid of Tyrese Halliburton. That's one of my favorite players. And we got him as a steal in the draft. But De'Aaron Fox and him doesn't work together. Those two both need the ball to do what they need to. And Sabonis really helped us out coming over. I think he was number 9 or 10 in the MVP vote last year. Both those guys was all-stars. The first time ever my Sacramento Kings made the playoffs, I want to say in over 16 years, from when we had Bonzi Wells. Yes, y'all probably don't remember. We had Bonzi Wells as well.
He does a funny podcast with Rasheed Wallace. You got to check that out. That's a pretty funny podcast. They pull no punches. I mean, they just let it out on former coaches. You got to check. That's a pretty funny one. They'll talk about their favorite coaches and their least favorite coaches, and that is definitely some entertaining programming because Rasheed, he's not going to hold anything back.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, of course he didn't do it. He didn't do it in the games. He didn't do it at the coaches, at the players back then. And so imagine now. Yeah, he's probably calling everything that he sees, out and stuff that. But yeah, man, Rasheed Wallace was a real one, man. Yeah,
he don't like Dunleavy too much. I think it leads back. He thought that timeout that they took against the Lakers. He said that gave the Lakers momentum. They were tired. He called the timeout at the 6-minute mark. But I don't know if you got to take a media timeout. You got to take timeouts here and there. But he really had it out for Dunleavy. But anyway, tomorrow your Kings are at San Antonio. I don't know if they can make this total big enough, but it's come down from the opener. But we're here. We're looking at the Kings 6 on the road, total 232.5.
Oh, 232 is decent. That's decent. So hear me out on this, man. This is just how life goes. Yesterday, the total was 235.
Yeah.
You know what it ends at?
235 because I had the over. I had the over.
It ends at 235.
Yeah.
It pushes, and I had the over. De'Aaron Fox misses one free throw. Keegan Murray misses one free throw. The over hits, bam, but it ends up pushing. In that game, though, yeah, San Antonio Spurs plays no defense out there. 232, I can see that hitting. Compared to the Lakers, hear me out. I mean, Anthony Davis was out there just running like a treadmill, 39 minutes with nine points. It doesn't make sense. And the only guy that was out there balling was LeBron for the Lakers. So, and the Kings out there, they put up points, and we didn't even have a good effort from key players on there. We had people just pop up. So I think 232 is a smart way to attack that game, actually.
Yeah, over there, 232. All right. Any news here on the UFC front here, head of the weekend?
Yeah, so not a big card. A lot of fights going on this weekend, though, in UFC. You got about 13 fights going on this week, headlined by Brandon Allen taking on Paul Craig. Besides that, it's a good card on there. I have about 2 or 3 bets locked up, loaded already for the card. I'm going to be looking to add these Bellator bets as well. Bellator has an event going on tomorrow in Chicago, and it's stacked. For the people out there that just want to watch some good fights, all you got to do is turn on Bellator YouTube. Early in the afternoon, they're going to have the prelims on there. And then if you guys have Paramount or Showtime or whatever, just watch it on there. But they're going to have some great fights on there. I got some bets locked and loaded in there. I was talking to some of the fighters this week during the media for them. And then PFL has an event going on next week for Black Friday too. But yeah, so this week, you got some good UFC fights going on Saturday. You got boxing going on tonight. You got the best boxer out. Shakur Stevenson is boxing tonight as well. So that's must-see TV. I think he's going to win by decision in there as well. But yeah, so it's combat sports going on tonight, all the way till weekend, till Sunday. Sunday, Anthony Pettis has his own fight promotion. He has some good fights going on there as well. So if you guys have UFC Fight Pass, it's going on there. So I interviewed a few fighters that's fighting on that card. But yeah, man, I'm locked and loaded right now, with MMA. So this is the time, definitely, if you guys want to watch some good fights, just turn them on this weekend.
All right, got it there. All right, Millz here. Bengals here on the record, +4 against the Ravens tonight, 8:15. And this one you'll watch over on Amazon Prime. All right, Millz, let's take a look over at Pick.com for nice action. We got Millz looking good in college football this year. We got a college football on the board, NFL. We got as well a couple from the NBA as well as college hoops. What do you have going on over at Pick.Dogs Premium?
Yeah, so tonight I got one play up there in the NFL to get you guys paid. So let's go ahead and see what you guys want to do with that. Besides that, it's Thursday, so go ahead and get that 3-day pass. Like I said, I'm locked and loaded for UFC. I got a good number of bets already written up on there. Already 3. I'm probably going to add about 2 more, so you're looking at 5 just for UFC. College football, I like some of the games going on Saturday. Already got some plays on there. College basketball, I've been looking at some teams that I'm liking numbers. But, NBA, I like the card that's coming out for the next couple of days. Today, nothing on there, that got me interested with the 2 games up there. But I do got some player props to get you on top, though. I mean, for the game that I like tonight, I'm gonna be looking at Chad Holmgren over 7.5 rebounds, facing the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors is a jump shooting team. Whenever you got a jump shooting team out there, rebounds like to fly from everywhere. Chad Holmgren's already averaging, I want to say, 6.2 rebounds on the year. And he's been going over that mark a lot of times this year already. So that's one player prop for you in the NBA. In the NFL, man, take Tyler Boyd over 4.5 receptions. If you guys don't like that one, take Joe Mixon anytime touchdown. And, let's go ahead and get paid. Today's Thursday. Get that 3-day pass and we'll cash every single day.
That's right, guys. Got on board with Millz Young over at Pick.Dog Premium. Great results here, as you can see, from Millz in college football. Great time to get on board with Millz. Here we are on a Thursday. It's a great time to get that 3-day all sports pass. Got all Millz Premium plays here from Sportsy Handicaps, NBA. We got college football, NFL, college basketball, also the UFC. Great time to get on board with Millz. The 3-day pass. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. You can also add a second capper with that. 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Millz, as always, great having you show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again next week. But you got a lot going on over at Pick Dogs. We catch your player props video here as well as UFC rundown.
Yeah, man, the prop shop is out live right now. Dropped that around 9 o'clock this morning for you guys, Pacific time. The UFC bet with me, I want to say it's going to be up in the next hour. I know they're just working on the thumbnail right now, but that is going to be up and out. I went through all the cards, all the fights on the cards on there, so you guys can just look at that and see what you guys like on that as well. So yeah, man, I got my UFC special going out for you guys so we can beat the books. And then, hey, man, go check out the prop shot and see what you guys like in there, and let us know what you guys like in there for the night as well.
There you go. Check it out there. Love those comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, set those notifications so when Millz drops those videos, you get them there in real time. All right, Millz, as always, great having you on the show. Go ahead.
Well, one day, man, I'm gonna be like everybody on there, Big Al, and hey, man, just if you guys got that money, big money, just call me.
That's it.
Just call me. That's the motivation, man. When I hear that and I see it, I'm just like, ooh.
We got it.
All right, you got to rub shoulders with the ones you want to get with. So I mean, hey, man, Big Al and a lot of people on the side is doing it real big. So I mean, hey, that's what we all dream to do out here. But hey, one by one, day by day.
Yep.
So hey, man, let's go ahead and hit that like button for us so we can get these likes up and see how we can get paid.
That's right. No doubt about that. One day we'll get Millz All Access. But I'm going to tell you, man, those UFCs, those picks we'll get. Looking forward to that. All right, Millz, keep up the great work. Have a great weekend. Enjoy this mild weather in SoCal. We'll catch up with you again next week.
All right, Tony.
You got it. Millz Young here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on. Guys, if you ever miss a pick on the show, we always recap at the end, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. We'll get to my pick, and then we'll hit the recap, and we'll roll here. Let's get to my pick here in just a second. We're going NBA tonight in that Heat game tonight. Let's pull it up here for you right now. It's not going to be Thunder Warriors. I should have moved the game. Let me see here. Let me get my board here. I can memorize where all this is at. Here we go. Heat and Nets going head-to-head tonight in this one. And we're going to be looking at this underdog tonight on the Nets here, plus the 3.5. I really like the defense we're seeing here from this Nets team. Of course, in their last game, Dinwiddie went off in their game here. And looking at this one, we've seen the Nets right now. They sit 5th in defensive efficiency over their past 3 games. It's been pretty good, holding their teams to just 42% shooting. Now, this is over their past 5 games, by the way. It's just 42% shooting they're allowing. And they are playing somewhat of a slower pace, as is the Miami Heat. But I'm just liking what I'm seeing here from this Nets team with Dinwiddie in there, as well as we've got Bridges. Let me just check the injury report, see if there's anything we know worth noting. No Hero out here for the Heat. Of course, we know Simons and Cam Thomas out here for the Nets, and that it is. Yeah, Hero out, and we got Simmons and Cam Thomas out here for Brooklyn. But we got Dinwiddie, Bridges, Cam Johnson, Finney-Smith, and Claxton in the lineup tonight here for Brooklyn. So we'll go ahead and take those points plus 3.5 here against the Miami Heat. I guess as Ron Crawford writes, yeah, the Heat always have difficulty covering that number on the home court. All right, guys, over at Pick Dog Room tonight, I got a 3-pack. Singles from the NBA, college football, and NFL bundled in a 3-pack, so get on board with me there. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. You can also get on board with one of my long-term pass, my 3, 7, or 30 all sports pass. Get all my pre and plays for that time period, just like when you go to my handicapper page and you make that purchase. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout, and you'll save that 15% off. All right, let's go ahead and recap the plays from today. Alex was on the board here with Kansas plus 9.5 against Kansas State. Big guy McMordie says Warriors plus 3 against the Thunder. Millz Bengals plus 4 against the Heat. Be on the Nets here Bengals against the Ravens for Millz. I'll be on the Nets plus 3.5 against the Heat. Which one do I like the most? I like a lot of these games. All 3 of them. But that 9.5 points is hard not to take there with Kansas State, especially with the news on Bean. He went through practice yesterday. He's kind of trending in the right direction. And when you're out there practicing and you have coming off a concussion, you got through that stage. That looks good that you'll get in the lineup there. A home game, home dog in that situation. Got to like where Alex Smart was taking us there. So let's look at that one. All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Drive Thru. Guys, be sure to tune in again tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring in our cappers here from Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. They'll give us their plays in real time. Remember, to always get started with that morning show here during the week. It is starting at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We got Mitch. We also have Chris. We got Jay with the morning show. Of course, Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. Betting Tools show. Of course, we got Chris with his NHL wraparound. Jay with his rundown NFL as well as NBA. Of course, lots of video series. We just talked to Millz to have his UFC rundown up in about an hour, as well as his prop video. We also have Big Al with his All Access show. Keep an eye on that. And of course, don't forget, we got Romanelli with his college football rundown. Mitch with his 7 picks in 5 minutes. Betting Tools show. It also has his roundtable discussion with the professionals. Also, All Access with Big Al. Take a look at the video up there. Lots of great content here at Pick Dog. So guys, make sure you like, subscribe, set those notifications so you're live with us to get the plays in real time. All right, I'd like to thank everybody in the chat room today. Nicholas Handy, we've got Rodrigo Gonzalez in there. Nick beats Vegas. J-Man likes the Blackhawks and calling Indiana soft. Jamal in there with J-Man in there with Wright State. Likes him the big money line plus 860 coming in there with those picks. As well as what we got here. Who we got, Tony? We're on Bengals or Ravens. I kind of agree there with our man Millz tonight. And, of course, Lando 86. Who do you guys like on the ice? Of course, Handy coming in with his plays. And, of course, where can I see the game? It's on Amazon Prime tonight. If you're asking about the game tonight between the Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals, Amazon Prime is where you can find it legally. There are some places out there you can find them as well. Let's see here. What do we got? Let's see who else we got in there. Shout out to Blake as well and Ron Crawford. All right, that's going to do it for our show. Let's go ahead and bring in our crew from tonight. Goodbye, guys. You guys have a great afternoon, evening.